song and a spiritual believed to be originated as a Bahamian lullaby, telling the story of a mother on her deathbed comforting her children.
Religion was a thing that Molly could buy. Rich would live and the poor would die. All my trials, Lord, soon be over. Too late, my brothers. Too late, but never found. All my trials, Lord, soon be over. Now hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. I was born to die. All my trials, Lord, soon be over. Too late, my brothers. Too late, but never found. All my trials, Lord, soon be over. All my trials, Lord, soon be over.
Our next piece is Orange Colored Sky. This song is from the 1950s. It's a jazz pop song, and it's best known for Nat King Cole's version. It tells a story of the dizzying feeling of love at first sight, and it's best known for its flash bam and Alakazam lyrics.
Walking along, minding my business, when out of an orange-colored sky, flash, bam, Alakazam, wonderful you came by. I was hoping to, drinking in sunshine, when out of an orange-colored view, bam, bam, Alakazam, I gotta look at you. Oh, and I yelled timber over the fortune of the flying glass. Cause the ceiling fell in and the bottom fell out. I ran into a spin, then I started to shout. I've been hit. This is it. This is it. I was walking along, minding my business, when love hit me in the eye. Flash, bam, Alakazam, I'm an orange-colored stone. Again, I yell timber, fortune for flying love. The ceiling fell in and the bottom fell out. I went into a spin and I started to shout at it. This is it. This is it. I was walking along, minding my business, With my women in the yard. Alakazam, an orange color, stripe, pretty green polka dots, hop it, hop it, hop it, hop it, flash. And the orange colored sky. Is a traditional African American spiritual and is a staple in choral repertoire. It speaks of the experiences of enslaved African Americans, often using biblical stories to represent desire for freedom and endurance.
Elijah, 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 rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, 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 shout.
You say it's a lie, a conjurer too. If you don't mind, he'll come true. If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood.
Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Shout.
You can call this rock in the morning,
Yeah.
also late at night.
Night.
He will always hear you
Know your battles, he said he would fight.
when I get in trouble. I call upon the line. I got a telephone in my heartstrings, trying to call up any old time.
Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, rock,
Shout, shout, shout.
Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord. Elijah, rock, shout, shout. Elijah, rock, coming of the Lord.
Piece written and choreographed by Robert T. Gibson, celebrating individuality and rhythm. And then Dance to the rhythm of your own drum. Dance to the rhythm of your own drum. We can all be different, there's no fear or shame. Oh, but I still love you just the same. We can all be different, there's no fear or shame. Oh, but I still love you just the same. Yeah, we can all be different, there's no fear or shame. Oh, but I still love you just the same. We can all be different, there's no fear or shame. Oh, but I still love you just the same. To the rhythm of your drum.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for being here tonight and starting our meeting on such a wonderful way. I don't know if
I just want to know if you guys are available about every second and fourth Tuesday. You guys can just start every meeting that way. Thank you guys so much. We do have certificates to give you to say thank you. We're going to be sending those to your school. So you'll get those through that channel. Thank you so much for your time to be here tonight. Thank you to your parents for being here as well.
Yeah. Thank you all. It's the board works really hard to make sure that young people in our community have the tools and things that you can thrive. And so thank you for that, for demonstrating to us that you are indeed thriving. And to your parents, thank you for bringing them out tonight and supporting them. Yep. Great. Go get them. Yep. Okay.
Have to squeeze in.
Squish it. Yeah, the squish. It's like
Squish
several
and like
rows.
squid.
Yeah.
Squid.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And
I am.
listen.
Yes, I am. Mrs. Peterson, the professional photographer back there. You bought this around.
Perfect. Okay, we already went to one, yes. Can we go with Mr. Massey? Okay, let's try again. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys.
Too cute.
Yeah.
Way too cute.
I know it's true.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, everyone left.
We peaked. What's that? Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. We have a few other recognitions this evening. And I was just, as a quick aside, I think we pinnacled for the evening with that. So with that, though, we'll proceed. First up is Ms. Haley Thompson, followed by Mr. Chris Whittosh.
Good evening, President Pratt, Mr. Cruz, and members of the governing board. I would like to recognize Tori Ganhin for being an all-star on our campus. She led a successful intercession with excellent communication for staffs, students, and families, ensuring a smooth and positive experience for all. Tori has done a fantastic job kicking off testing season with a fun, interactive theme while making sure everyone is trained and feels confident as we approach testing. Her positive and calm demeanor is invaluable for our campus, especially during busy times. We are grateful for her leadership and dedication to our school community. I would also like to recognize Miss Meady Stern, our longtime and beloved art teacher, for her outstanding contributions to our campus. She is consistently going above and beyond to build meaningful connections with students and families, setting a wonderful example for our entire school community. With her genuine care and respect, Meady creates an environment where every single student feels valued and inspired. We are incredibly grateful for the joy and dedication she brings to Miss C every day.
Thompson, Mr. Whittosh, followed by Mrs. Woods.
President Pratt, Mr. Caruth, and members of the board, good evening. I would first like to take some time to recognize my student achievement teacher, Faith Alva. She's just an absolute rock star at every component of her job. And as we approach state testing window, she has everything in order for us. Her attention to detail, her work ethic, her analysis of data, and just the way she supports and lifts up teachers is simply exceptional. If anyone, I'm sure a lot of you have met her or have interacted with her, she's simply one of the kindest and most welcoming people you'll meet. I've known her for over 10 years and she was the same person then as she is now. So just so grateful to have her on my campus and all she does for testing, but also just for all the people at our school. And speaking of Faith, she runs our intercession each spring and fall. And for spring intercession, just want to recognize her, Amanda Stringo, Sarah Gargis, and Jackie Rose for spending their first 4 days of break to work with our students to get prepared for the ASA test. So they sacrificed their time. Coming from a different district, something like intercession would never exist. So it's just something cool and amazing that we do to make sure we support our kids and families. And then finally, I'd like to recognize two individuals who made our end of the quarter assembly at Sonoma Valley absolutely awesome. First is Jen Heineke, who is one of our staff members. She's our behavior specialist. She organized getting the Tucson Twisteds, a competitive jump rope team in the middle school and high school students. They even had me do a double Dutch. So they made to do that. They're pretty awesome. It was super cool, really energized our kids, and took a lot of planning on her part to get those students excused out of school and able to perform for our little kids. And then finally, I want to recognize another Vail employee, April Bunting, who's one of Mr. Hesse's teachers over at Micah Mountain. She brought her rock band club to our assembly, which was awesome. They were playing some 90s rock hits, so the adults were digging it just as much as the kids, but just once again, taking time, bringing older kids to support our younger kids, and made our assembly extra special. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whittosh. Mrs. Woods, followed by Ms. Spinks.
President Pratt, Mr. Caruth, governing board members, good evening. I want to start by recognizing Diva, Bella, Lisa Chase, Taryn Hernandez, and Kendra Davis for their outstanding planning and facilitation of the RISE conference. This event was designed for high school students who are impacted by disabilities and for them to explore possibilities of life after high school. Throughout the day, they participated in a variety of breakout sessions, including learning opportunities about Pima Community College, a session on tips on how to make your resume stand out to employers. And also we had a really great a panel of community members from all different career fields, and kids were able just to ask them questions and get real feedback on what is it like to work in the community. The day also included professional headshots for students and a catered lunch that was generously donated by Living Branch Church. And we concluded the day with a career-focused fashion show. So it was a great event, and these ladies worked hard to put that together. I also want to recognize our health services department. Our special ed teams across the district partner with our health services department every day, and we rely heavily on their expertise. They help us really and guide us to meet the needs of some of our students that have a lot of medical needs and need support. We have a growing population in this area that have complex medical needs, and we collaborate a lot between the two departments to ensure that the students are getting the care and the support that they need. We're really grateful for their partnership and their commitment to our students. Thank you.
Spates, followed by Ms. Pinkerton.
President Pratt, Superintendent Caruth, and members of the board. Tonight, I'd like to recognize both the Cottonwood and Desert Willow teams for earning a 5-star rating through Quality First. The designation reflects excellence in 2 key areas from ECHRS, which evaluates the learning environment. When they come through for ECHRS, they are looking at everything from, do we have enough chairs? Are they the right size? Do we have enough cubbies? They evaluate everything with a fine-tooth comb. So they're looking at not only the environmental components and how the classroom is set up, but then the second round that they come back, they look at class, which assesses the quality of interactions that we have with the children that we serve. At Cottonwood specifically, ECHRS scores showed meaningful growth, highlighting intentional planning and strong commitment to the belief that our belief that the environment is the third teacher, and that if we have a quality environment, it can also help to accentuate the great teaching that's happening. Their class results are especially noteworthy, with the majority of the indicators demonstrating high quality interactions throughout every single cycle that they were evaluating. This level of consistency reflects the strong relationships and daily practices happening in the classrooms at Cottonwood. This achievement marks the return of a 5-star rating to Cottonwood. They previously were a 3-star rated site. It's a huge testament to the team's dedication and to their perseverance. It's also a huge testament to Jenny Peralta, the leader at Cottonwood. At Desert Willow, ECHRS scores also reflected a strong preparation throughout thoughtful classroom design and a deep understanding of the environment best practices. Their class results highlighted positive interactions, nurturing relationships, and strong classroom management. In particular, their instructional support scores stand out as some of the strongest, and I say the strongest by being the highest score we've ever received on the assessment at Desert Willow, demonstrating meaningful and engaging learning experiences for the children at Desert Willow each day. We are incredibly proud of both the Cottonwood and the Desert Willow teams. These results represent an exceptional level of quality and commitment to excellence. With these updated star ratings, our Vail School District average rating for stars is now a 4.45, with all Vail School District preschools now earning a 4 or 5-star rating by Quality First. Because we're not competitive at all, I just want to share a little bit of comparison. Is everybody okay with that? All right. We obviously, we want to make sure that we're striving for excellence and not being satisfied with the status quo. And so we do oftentimes compare ourselves to our surrounding school districts as friendly competition. But the average star rating for the school districts around us is a 3.84 stars. And again, just to repeat, the Vail School District average for all preschools is a 4.45. So we're incredibly proud of the work that we're doing in Vail preschools across all 12 sites. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinkerton.
Good evening, President Pratt, Mr. Caruth, members of the board. I'm going to add to Mrs. Thompson and Mr. Witosh's recognitions, because my first one is I just want to take a moment to recognize a dedicated group of staff members who gave up part of their spring break to run an intercession at all of the sites across our district. Thanks to their commitment and hard work, nearly 1,200 students had access to meaningful learning opportunities during what would have otherwise been a time away from school. Our successful intercession was made possible because these people chose to show up, plan with intention, and put students first. I'm going to read them all because not all of them are student achievement teachers, and I want to make sure that we recognize all of these people across the district. These staff members include April Pierce, Jim Livingston, Katrina Myers, Lori Spees, Sharon Hodges Owen, Stacy Cousins, Nicole DeJaneiro, Gail Morrison, Aaron Raybuck, Tori Ganhinhin, Carla Wright, Amanda Cavarda, Randy Verdon, Ashley Campos, Faith Alva, Michelle Pengel, Angie Welch, Angela Bustamante, and Rachel Tankersley. Thank you to each of them for everything they did to make spring intercession a success. Then I also want to recognize our student achievement teachers from across the district. Similarly to what you just heard, they have all been working tirelessly in the weeks and months leading up to state testing. They have been supporting students, gathering data, coordinating resources, and making sure that every child walks into the testing window as ready as possible. As of yesterday, the state window for testing is officially open. And because of the groundwork these SATs have laid, our students are ready. Their work often happens behind the scenes, but they still make sure that every little detail is taken care of. The dedication and heart they bring to this work every single day makes such a difference. Because there are so many names to read, I'll just make sure that Cindy has all of the names to reflect those in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pinkerton. I have one other just district-wide recognition over spring break. We about 2 weeks before that received an email invitation to attend the Tucson Police Department's annual employee recognition ceremony. Unfortunately, it was on the day that I was leaving for a long weekend and wasn't able to attend. But Mr. Jerry Brown stood in for me in my stead and represented us as a school district. For those who don't know, he's the director of safety. We were asked to be there, and then surprised with the recognition of being the Tucson Police Department's community partner of the year as a school district. And I just want to read. It was held. The ceremony was held at TCC. And if you, for context, what Mr. Brown said that ceremony was like is it felt a lot like our staff recognition get together and what they do with community partners as well. There was a beautiful plaque, and I just wanted to share that with you as a board. You all earned a piece of this as well. And I simply want to read some of the words from Chief Prieto. Said, excuse me, my glasses. The Vail School District and team have demonstrated outstanding commitment to the community partnership through proactive collaboration with Tucson Police Department to enhance school and community safety. Their initiatives, including quarterly coordination meetings and the implementation of roof-mounted building numbers and aid emergency response, exemplify forward-thinking problem-solving and leadership by fostering meaningful engagement through events like Vail Pride Day and expanding the reach of public safety messaging. The district has strengthened trust and cooperation between schools, law enforcement, and families in our community. Your efforts have set a high standard for our community in collaboration and public innovation. So just wanted to acknowledge that. That's something I know that the board has worked hard on is issues of safety. It's things that we've heard from site councils and our annual site council meetings. Our efforts are being recognized by one of our biggest community partners, the Tucson Police Department. That's all we have for staff student and community recognitions.
Thank you. Our next items are call to the public and acknowledgement of public request to speak. At this time, I do not have any requests from the public to speak to the board tonight. Are there any here wishing to speak to the board? Not seeing any, we're going to move on to our next section. But as we typically do when people are here visiting, we're going to move item A from new business, the Saguaro Creek K-8 school assistant principal position. I'm not sure if you want to tell
Mr. Gonzalez or
yes, maybe you're
Mr. Gonzalez Senior might want to go get your mom.
So we're going to just move that item, Ms. Peterson, if you're good with that. Okay. So we'll move it right now, and then we'll move on to section 4, the correspondence reports. So Mr. Cruz.
Yep, thank you. Let me juggle our new The item in front of us is Saguaro Creek K-8 Assistant School Principal. I'm going to ask Mr. Ethan Hurley, who led that process along with Ms. Kate Robold, to present the background information. Mr. Hurley.
Thank you, President Pratt, members board, Mr. Kruth. Mr. Kruth, I think you misspoke when you said the highlight was the kids singing. When it's somebody else's kid that's fussing, it's adorable. I love it. It's so cute to hear the little. It didn't feel scary.
And we are about kids, so it's bothering you way more than we love it. So just know that.
It was great. Yes, we were all about kids and it was fun. So please don't worry, but we are going to get you out here as quick as we can. So due to an increase in enrollment at Saguaro Creek, we're going to be adding an assistant principal. We had a great interview committee. Kate Robold, Kim Lomax, the office manager, Nikki Bailey was a teacher, Eliza Case was a parent, and Allison Pratt was a board member. We had a good time. We met over break and had some really good stuff. And the committee is really proud to recommend Mr. Gabe Gonzalez as the position of assistant principal. Gabe was born in Vail, not moved to Vail, not Chuck, like this is it, right? Acacia, Old Vail, Cienega, a U of A kid, got his bachelor's, been to Pima. He's working to talk about life balance, this beautiful little daughter and his full-time job. And he's finishing his master's in ed leadership. So in the next month, there'll be a little bit of a sigh of relief on Gabe's face. He began working at Cienega in 2019, English teacher, student achievement teacher. And as you can see from what I put in there, he just took advantage of every opportunity he could. He coached football, he coached teachers, he joined site council, he did testing, he did intercession coordinator. He really did take advantage of the opportunity and learn from the amazing Cienega staff all the things that he could to make him ready. Gabe is a great man of faith and a man of great character. He's a servant leader. His strengths are relationships, culture building, structural leadership, data, systems, all of the things you would want. And one of the things that's really fun is he and his wife, Gabrielle, were part of the Saguaro Creek Planning Committee. And at one point, that little baby was at a couple of meetings. I remember seeing that. They were on the planning committee. They lived in one of our tiny houses and saved up money and were able to move into Rocking K. Someday, little Rosalie will be a Sidewinder herself, which is exciting. And so it's just great to see a local kid grow up, come back, and be all in. And we're really, really excited to make a recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Hurley. I just want to add, I do believe that this is the first administrative position we filled with a true born Vail kid. And further, who has at the podium and in the back, two of his coaches and former teachers also as people here. And just want to acknowledge the Gonzalez family who's here in attendance as well. And thank you for that. And with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation. The Vail School District Governing Board approve the appointment of Gabriel Gonzalez as assistant principal at Saguaro Creek K-8 school effective July 1st, 2026.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion.
I'll motion.
Second.
So we have Ms. Anderson and then Mr. King. I think we all wanted to. Comments or questions? Mr. King?
Congratulations and welcome to your next assignment. So.
Any other, Ms. Anderson?
Well, I still don't know how I'm going to vote on this. I just want you to know. When I saw this, I don't want to get emotional, but you are still one of my daughter's favorite teachers, and you had her for just a few weeks. Thank you for what you do for kids and for connecting with teenagers the way you have. I am thrilled for you and a little bit sad for me again. I think I've told you that many times. I'm always like, but thank you for blessing my family personally and for blessing just kids. And we are so grateful for you. And I'm excited. So for Saguaro Creek, it's still going to be a little bit sad for my kids' homeschool, but we are just so thrilled for you. So thank you to both of you. Yeah.
Ms. Anderson, any other comments or questions?
Just congratulations and welcome back to the family because you never left. Those are good problems. So you're a hometown hero.
Thank you. There's no other comments or questions. I just want to say thank you so much for putting your name in the hat. We're really excited to see the wonderful things that you do at Saguaro Creek. It's a great school, and I know that you're going to connect well with the kids there. Congratulations. So with that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Congratulations. We would love to know if you want to introduce your family that you have with you.
Yeah, definitely. This is, first, I just want to thank the board. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mr. Ruth and Mr. Hurley, I appreciate you guys. This, again, just everyone in here who came, you guys are just phenomenal. Mr. Happy, Mr. Middleton, Chris and Brenna and Ben. I just thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you and just everything that you guys have done for me, my family, and my career. So I appreciate every single one of you. This is my beautiful family here, my dad and my mom, my sister here. Again, went through Vale School District as well. I was a little lost. I was running around trying to find this. They have 3 boys. This is the youngest, Jude. And Jonah's out with James. My beautiful wife, Gabrielle. I just wanted to say her. Our beautiful daughter here. Girls, one making all the books. And Haley, appreciate it. Kelly, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys. Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You guys are welcome to stay for the don't meet.
We're going to Dairy Queen.
Yes, yeah, go to Dairy Queen, yes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes. So at this time, we will table the rest of the items in new business and we will go on to correspondence and reports. We'll start with superintendent's report. Mr. Cribb.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. Just a couple of quick things to report. One is a month or so ago, made a presentation to the board about exploring the opportunity or options of extending the override and considering a bond. That committee of about 60 people. We've had consistently about 50 people attend the first 2 meetings. Our last meeting was last evening. We have one more meeting on April 8th, and we'll be bringing more information back to the board after that. I just want to report that those meetings are going well. And then the last item is simply a note I want to make. Myself and a small team will be attending a tech conference on April 14th during the next board meeting. And so Assistant Superintendent Mrs. Dabney will be running the board meeting that evening. That's all I have for superintendent's report this evening.
Thank you. Our next item are board reports. Are there board members wishing to make a report this evening? Ms. Anderson.
I'll make a report because
This is unprecedented.
I know. Wait, what?
We're on spring break.
I will be quick, but I was not here for the last meeting during spring break, but I just wanted to acknowledge I went to Empire's musical Into the Woods right before spring break, and just shout out to Richard Grimmel and Aubrey Wilkes and just the work they're doing there. Love these kids that that my family's gotten to know through their program. And I am always the one that talks about fine arts, and I know that, and I love going. I'm emotional tonight. I think I'm just in a sappy mom mood, but I love going and supporting these programs at these schools. I'm excited to go to Mesquite this week to see their 5th grade musical at the Fox. But I have a little girl who for a lot of years has watched everyone else perform at Seneca since she was probably 8 or 9. And this week she's going to perform in their school musical. And so I'm just excited to, as a mom, kind of be there. I love going as a school board member to support programs. I love going to the choir programs and the band and the orchestra and the musicals at each schools. But it's special this week as I watch her get on a stage that she's had a goal for
for many, many years here in this district. So there you go. And I'm going to stop crying.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Any other board reports, Mr. King? Ms. Tippett?
Yeah, I just really wanted to take a moment to thank all the staff that participated in intercession over the break. That's a key part of our reteach piece and checking in with kiddos and families and making sure that children have the support that they need to learn. So thank you for any staff member who was involved in making that happen.
Mr. King?
Thank you. One of the things that I really like about this is we get the opportunity to speak publicly in a lot of places. And I had an opportunity a while back to go on a radio show and talk about some of the interesting things that we get to do. And I was discussing the Reading Heroes program. And I just happened to be at a meeting about a week and a half ago. And somebody said they'd heard me on the program and they heard about the Reading Heroes program. So they signed up to be part of it. And they were in their, I guess, their second week last week. And it was just, they said it was one of the most amazing programs that they've ever been able to take part in. And they thanked me for actually coming in and discussing that. And that kind of ties into my second piece here regarding like building relationships and the choosing connections piece. Now that I've been on the board for a little over 5 years, I've built a lot of relationships and made some very intentional connections. And last week I was asked to take part in helping celebrate a family's 18th birthday. One of their kids had their 18th birthday today. So today about lunchtime, there were 3 community members, me included, who dressed up in inflatable baby shark costumes. And we actually kind of took over Jeff Park's office and wished her a happy birthday, and then got to follow her back to class all the way across the Andrada campus, dressed in these inflatable baby shark costumes. So not only was it fun, but we actually, got to build those connections, through the families and everything else. And that's just some of the fun things that we get to do that really makes some of the hard work that we do here so much easier. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. I appreciate that. I wasn't here this last week or last time. And so I just wanted to report back that I read at Mesquite and Esmond Station, which is literally one of my favorite things to do as a board member. I'm always just so honored when they invite us. So thank you to them. And it's just so fun to be in these classrooms that these kids are so well behaved, and it's just really a pleasure to be there. I also attended the Youth on Their Own luncheon to honor Irene Cepentis. And it was just, honestly, it was one of the most inspiring luncheons I've been to, just to hear some of the stories of the alumni from the Youth on Their Own program was really incredible. So big thanks for that invitation, and huge congratulations to Ms. Cepentis. If there's no other board reports, then we will move on to our consent agenda. At this time, the board may consider and discuss comments and concerns from the public. No, so sorry, wrong paragraph. All items listed below are consent matters and will be considered by one motion at this time. There'll be no discussion of consent items. Any board member may remove an item from the consent agenda by request. All items not accepted and approved as part of the consent agenda will be considered individually. Do any board members wish to pull an item? No. Mr. Green?
Thank you, President Pratt and members of the board. It's recommended that the Vail School District Governing Board approve all items on the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. I'll accept the motion.
I'll motion.
Ms. Anderson, second. Mr. Buster keeps getting shut out. Ms. Tippett. I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any. The motion carries. We will move on at this time to old business. We only have one item. Item A, preschool and child care calendar realignment. An action item. Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. This was studied at the last board meeting, and I'll just provide a quick overview. Mrs. Bates is here if there's additional questions or additional questions are needed. Functionally, what this represents is taking the preschool and childcare calendars
from being separate from community services and Vail Inclusive Preschool, and merging those two calendars into one, and also uncoupling them a little bit from our standard K-8 calendar that they have normally been on. And the purpose of that is so that two groups can begin to share resources and share calendars and share professional development opportunities, do other things. We have to report the VIP calendar to the Arizona Department of Education. So the students who participate in that program do receive some state funding. So that's why we're bringing it forward to the board for action. Community services is generally not needed to do that because there's no state funding associated with that. But we can happy to dive into the details of that. Functionally, it generally follows the rest of the calendar, but there's a few different days where there's professional development and a few days where it's closed, and it's actually longer in length overall than the regular K-8 or high school calendars. So with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation to the Vail School District Governing Board approve the 2026-2027 preschool and child care calendar as presented.
You're welcome. Motion.
Motion.
Ms. Anderson. Mr.
Second.
Webster, do I have a second?
You do. Thank you.
Comments or questions? I know it was studied last time. No. Okay, if there's no comments or questions, thank you for the information, Mr. Crew. I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Thank you. We will move on to new business. We already did item A, so we'll move on to item B. The 60-day public display of K-5 ELA resources, also an action item. Mr. Crew.
Thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. Ms. Pinkerton.
President Pratt, Mr. Kruth, members of the board, Arizona's Move On When Reading Law requires all public school districts serving students in kindergarten through grade 3 to adopt an evidence-based core reading curriculum aligned to Arizona state standards and the science of reading. In accordance with ARS 15704, the selected curriculum must address the essential components of reading instruction and meet ESSA evidence requirements at the top 3 tiers. In accordance with Governing Board Policy IJJ, textbooks and supplementary books for common schools will be placed on display in the district office for a period of at least 60 days prior to the meeting at which the board will consider their adoption. Tier 1 literacy core curriculum textbooks and materials from all responding vendors are currently on display at the Calvin Baker Leadership Center through May 23rd, 2026. If you haven't had a chance to see the long hallway full of textbooks, there are quite a bit on display, and we're ready to begin our RFP process.
Thank you, Mrs. Pinkerton. I just simply want to add, I think it's been over 20 years since we've considered a textbook adoption for a core curriculum. And to be frank, and I'll just speak publicly about it, we wouldn't be considering this if it weren't required of us by law. And so we're trying to figure out what that looks like in relationship to what we use as a practice. Because we follow the standards and our teachers, we have our own curriculum calendar and our own process. And we follow the science of reading and all of those other components. We're required to move in this direction. We want to make sure that our reading instruction, regardless of the materials that are being used, is of highest quality and content. And so this is just beginning a 60-day process. We're required to adopt something to be able to report that to the state, but I'll just be transparent in that process. We're also trying to figure out how that melds with our long-standing, highly effective instructional process and practice. And with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that the Vail School District Governing Board approve the 60-day public display of K-5 ELA resources as presented.
Make a motion to approve the 60-day approval.
Seconded.
Mr. Buster, comments or questions? Okay.
Yes, we're in the DO. Will these books be laid out?
Yeah, thank you, President Pratt, Mr. King, Mrs. Pinkerton. There.
So there is this one empty hallway in the district office, right near where you turn in to go to the technology area, in that little hallway. So there's between CTE and the technology hallway. They're all there.
Okay.
just to add to that, the thought process is to put all of the curriculum that's being for the respondents to the RFP on display. There's Mrs. Pinkerton and Mr. Hurley and others have a committee together that are evaluating all of that. The reason for putting all of them on display is so that we can evaluate them concurrently with a 60-day window.
Yeah, and how many books are approximately there roughly right now? Or in this process?
Yeah, Mr. Crick.
Ms. Pinkerton.
Mr. King, currently there are 5, or there will only be, there are 5 different vendors that responded to the RFP.
So I was to say, this is kind of interesting because as of today, I got 5 more books for the AP Science. So take a look at those. So thank you.
You're gonna have to budget your time. You got 5 more textbooks. Any other comments or questions? No. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is an action item, and we do have a recommendation and a motion and a second. So I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing it, and the motion carries. Our next item is item C, employee benefits renewal for 2026-27 plan year. Also an action item. Mr. Crew.
Yep, thank you, Mrs. Emsley. And Mrs. Owens.
Thank you, President Pratt, Superintendent Cruz, and members of the governing board. We really appreciate your time tonight to be able to present our employee benefits recommendations for the 26-27 plan year. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to our Assistant Director, Alice. And she has been working very hard with her benefits team on providing these recommendations for you tonight.
Thank you, Laura. Good evening, President Pratt, Superintendent Caruth, and members of the governing board. The district's Employee Benefits Committee and district administration are presenting the following recommendations to the governing board for the 2026-2027 employee benefits plan year. To approve to maintain the district contribution for medical insurance with the estimated cost to the district of $745,970. Approved to maintain the district's contribution for dental insurance for an estimated cost to the district of $49,902.80. Approved to renew all insurance plans for medical, dental, and vision, short-term disability, group life, and voluntary life insurance. Approved to remove AFLAC payroll deductions for employees starting July 1st due to the voluntary benefits vendor and new benefits administration partner. The Vail Human Resources Department convened with our Employee Benefits Committee to review and provide feedback for the district employee benefits for the 2026-2027 plan year. The Employee Benefits Committee did not have any concerns regarding these recommendations to the governing board. Renewal and contribution information was also provided to the governing board at 2 study sessions. I will defer to Mr. Caruth for the recommendation and would be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Owens. Just to note, we've had a study session on this as well for additional background and opportunity. But with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation. The Vail School District Governing Board renew the existing plans for medical, dental, vision, short-term disability, group life, and voluntary life for benefit plan year July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. And the governing board approved the recommendation of the 26-27 district contribution amounts as presented.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
A second.
Mr. Bester and Mrs. Tippett. Comments or questions? Thinking about one?
Yeah, I think we had a really good discussion during the study session. And I just really appreciate the process of having staff involved in helping us make these decisions, since they're the ones living it. And so I am relying on them and their recommendations and thoughts in regard to how we proceed as an organization, as well as, what is that impact to our operations budget? How do we balance all the needs of staff and district? So just thank you for the thoughtful presentation and the work of staff participating.
you, Ms. Tippett. Appreciate that. Any other comments or questions, Mr. GKLEBER?
Just a huge thanks to staff for the thorough process that you went through. You were very demonstrative in showing us exactly all the process steps, how we're being more cost effective across the spectrum. And the bottom line was keeping staff happy and healthy. Gaining staff and retaining staff is quintessential. And this is one of those milestones that brings it all together. So sincere thanks to you for all the work that you did to make this happen.
Thank you, Ms. Chester. Any other comments or questions? No, thank you so much for your time during the study session. I know we've talked about it at length and had a really good discussion during the study session. I too just want to say thank you for your work for that benefits renewal of the committee. I love that there's good input from staff who are impacted by these choices. So thank you for that information. With that, if there's no other comments or questions, then I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to item D. This is ASBA policy advisories, 864 to 865, and also 904 to 914. This is just a study item, Mr. Pruitt.
Yeah, thank you, President Pratt, members of the board. It's actually only two policy advisories, 864 and 865, period. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I take that back. And 909 through 914. The 864 and 865 are some cleanup policies from last legislative session regarding we are doing that anyways, but the call for grades 7 through 11 to designate the 9/11 day and the instruction around the 9/11 attack. And then the 865 just provides some cleanup language and around the identification of sex offenders and the need for law enforcement to notify school districts of level 1, 2, and 3 sex offenders if they're in our area. 909 and 914 is cleanup language that we have seen previously from ASU. So happy to walk through into those additional policies. And I believe Mrs. Peterson and I are in agreement that we are finally through all of the cleanup language. And this, once this is for study this evening, but once these are brought forward for recommendation next board meeting, we will be up to date.
Actually amazing. Thank you. This is a study item, but are there any comments or questions? No?
Yeah, quick question on the 865 policy. Is this for us to notify law enforcement, or is this for law enforcement to notify us? And if it's for law enforcement to notify us, why are we developing a policy that directs law enforcement to conduct actions?
Thank you, Mr. King, members of the board, because we're directed by Arizona State Statute 133825 to do so. And the law, the legal change is that, and I'll read this section. That's a good question, and there's really that's a default to that, but it's the change in that is, and I'll go ahead and read it. The statutes ARS 133825 and 133826 require local law enforcement agencies notify the community, including area schools, of the presence of registered sex offenders in the community, whether the offender has determined by the agency. And this is the change. So that's been in the law and in policy. The change is level 1 offender who has been convicted of a dangerous crime against children as defined by section 13705. Level 2 and level 3 were already in there. This adds level 1 to their notification requirement.
Okay, that being said, has the district been notified of the level 1 and level 2 sex offenders that have recently moved into the school district area?
So we received, thank you, Mr. King,
sorry,
and members of the board. We receive at the school level notifications when those come in, because it's within proximity to a school, and those are posted.
That being said, what is the proximity distance to the school that they have to do a notification to the school as well as to the community members?
I would, yeah.
I actually, I looked this up recently, and it is not very far. It's not, it's pretty close, that they have to make a notification, but yeah, I can't remember what the exact, amount is.
Yep, thank you, President Pratt, Mr. King. I'd have to look up the specifics because it's been a while since I've looked at that portion of the policy. But as Mrs. Pratt said, it's not very far. So they're generally pretty good about that notification.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Guzzi?
I think so. They're also posted on their on the law enforcement websites, and so they're often how community members and parents become aware of that as they search them there. We're required to post them, but it's often when you do a search for them on the public safety websites.
I know that we actually signed up for alerts that notify us if they're within a 2-mile radius. A 2-mile radius from our house incorporates quite a few of our district schools, and actually encroaches into Reading Ranch. So we are seeing a growth of registered sex offenders actually coming into the area. So
And that, it was not miles. It was not measured in miles. It was like 1,000 feet or something. I mean, it was really close that they could be to a school and still be within their acreage, whatever. So yeah, definitely not 2 miles. So. Okay.
It's just the way that's set up.
Oh, I know. I think that's super helpful. Yeah. Okay. If there's no other comments or questions, then we'll move on to our last item, the executive session. Do you want me to make the recommendation? That the Vail School District Governing Board enter into executive session pursuant to ARS 15-843 and ARS 431.03A2 to consider an appeal regarding the hearings officer's recommendation for a student. Do I have a motion?
Second.
And Mr. Buster. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any, the motion carries. I say let's take a maybe
5 minute recess.
5 minute, a couple minutes. Let's
10
do
minute
this.
recess.
Yeah, 10 minute. Then we'll come back. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
of course.